My name is Calvin.
And my name is Kevin.
And I'm Charles.
And this is Martial Art Mindset.
All right. And we have Charles here today to share his martial art journey.
Yes.
Charles is somebody I just met today
Yeah.
in person for the first time.
He's been talking to him. I talk to him about Charles and Calvin all the time because he's an incredible person. I don't know. We haven't gotten into a lot of arguments the whole time we've been talking to each other. The only thing we argue about
Is what?
the thermostat.
Thermostat.
He likes to heat. I
Y'all
like
sound
to
like
Yes,
an old couple.
Yeah,
We sound like an old married couple. No.
Old married couple. An old young married couple.
Yeah. So before we get started, because we know we want to talk about the mindset and stuff, but just talk about how we met. I know how we met, but
Which
just
was
wanna hear
crazy.
from you.
On my martial arts journey, I was looking for someplace else to train. Well, I'm gonna train my son. And I came to the door after my wife started school one day taking her to work. And I walked in the door, asked a question about my son, and Kevin was at the desk. And what am I talking to Kevin? And Kevin was telling me about the school, and I sat down for a minute. I said, well, I'm gonna go see what he's teaching and how he teaches. So I want to enroll my son. So I'm looking at Kevin on the floor, watching him teach. And I told my son, I said, yeah, I might think about signing you up here. So I go to walk out the door, and luckily the owner's here. I had my gi on and my belt and
This
my
exact gi.
exact uniform. What's so crazy about it? And I walk up the door, and the owner comes behind. He said, you looking for a job? I'm like, not really, but you offering one? I said to him just like that. Well, you offering one? Yeah, we need help here. Do you want to have a job? I said, yeah. If you could, listen, I said to him, if you can offer me more than what they paying me there, I'll leave. He like, well, what they paying you? I said, well, what you offering first?
Right?
You know what I'm saying? So when he told me the offering, and he said, well, what you making? I said, well, I ain't making that. I'm making like probably $1,000 a month. He said, oh, no, we're going to top that. I said, we going to top that? So where do I sign up, sir? Where do I sign up?
And we had to do the interview and all that, right?
Yeah.
Because it was just me here at the studio for a long time. So when he walked in, I saw somebody in a black belt. I was like, cool. But I was so tired, I didn't recognize that it could be somebody that could work here, which is good that the owner was here.
Yeah.
So he could scoop you up. So we set up a time for the interview. I think it was like the next day or 2 days or something like that. And he came in. I knew he was ready and prepared, but he was super nervous.
I was nervous, man.
Nervous.
I was nervous, yes, because I had never. For one, I've been out of work for so long due to a lot of my.
So why? So I think so that people can understand that. To understand, also because you've told me and just thinking about it, which is why part of the reason I want to share your story on the podcast is, so people can understand more of what we understand. What happened when you were 26?
Before we go further, because
That really changed your life. So
Yes.
you mentioned it already, but I want you to let's pause
before we
on
go
that.
further, all right, knowing that they work together, and he teaches, and then they're working this dojo together.
Yeah, we have a work marriage.
Yeah, we're,
Yeah, we call it
It's
a work
strong.
marriage.
It's strong.
This
yeah.
is my
It's a
buddy. This is my
romance
guy right
right
here, man. Let me
there.
tell you, I met this guy, and my life changed. Him and his brother are incredible martial artists. I want to say that publicly, live to everybody. These guys are incredible. I saw them,
Appreciate
and I couldn't believe it was them. I was like, I work with you. That's you, a twin brother. Oh my God, I'm in heaven. I'm gonna learn so much more than I ever thought I was gonna learn.
I appreciate Charles too, because all the joy and greatness he brings, and also the energy and the story that he has. So I'll go ahead and let you.
At 20, well, go ahead and finish the question you asked.
mantras.
Oh yeah, we didn't do the mantra. We'll do it at the end. We'll just save it for then.
do it at the end. Cool.
Okay.
All right, because we'll cap it off. I'm learning. This is my first time learning about Charles' story in
yes.
detail and everything. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'm ready to tell you what I've already been telling Kevin for the longest. When I was 26, I had a stroke. It took me down. I will say this. I have a lot of issues that I don't complain about. Martial arts saved me. I joined martial arts when I was about 8 years old. Well, I fell in love with martial arts when I was 8 years old. from my hometown of Georgetown, Andrews, South Carolina, which is part of Georgetown County. There, I fell in love with it, but it kept me going because also when I ended up having a stroke at 26, that's the one thing that I fell back on that could have saved me, uplifted me to who I am today. Because I was really giving up on myself. Like, I don't know what I was going to do for the rest of my life. I didn't know I was going to have an opportunity to do anything. I didn't know I was going to have a decent job. You know what I mean? I didn't know how I was going to make any money. That $1,000 that they were paying me at the other place I was working at, you know, it was all that I felt that I was going to be making because I didn't feel like I would be doing anything else. You know.
And what mindset was that when you were in that state of mind, in that frame? Like you just said that's what you felt like you were all you could make. What did that feel like?
It made me feel, how can I say? It made me feel small. It made me feel less than a man. When your wife got to take care of you, you know what I mean? I got a good wife. She stuck by me. It's not just for the park. It's this. I got a good wife. I got a great wife. I have a great life. You know, all the things I've been through, that stroke, it knocked me down. She stuck with me through it, and all I can say, guys, is the mindset that I had then was to keep pushing, keep moving, don't quit, don't give up, because I have something to live for. My kids were a gift from her to me when she couldn't have kids. You know what I mean? I was down. I didn't have a dime, dude, for somebody to want to have a kid with you. You know what I mean? 26, 27 years old. Now, my daughter was born, I was in my 30s. That goes to show you how long we had to suffer to go through that, through those down spells. Then once Genovi was born, I didn't want to let my kids down. I have an older son, 2 older sons, Christopher and Taiwan. Taiwan is 25, Christopher is 27 today.
Oh, happy birthday. Look at that.
No, I'm saying he's 27 now.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you said it was
No,
birthday today.
you're okay.
Yeah, me
His
excited.
Got us excited.
No, you guys
My bad.
okay.
I just see he's 27.
No, but my 2 older kids, they were at the house. I mean, they weren't at the house. They would come sparingly with me and my wife. But it was the 2 kids that I had at the end that really made me and my wife kind of picked it up. You know what I mean? After I got my daughter was born, I really was focused on how can I make anything that she want come true. I didn't have much money. I didn't have much to go off on. But the one thing that I did love, and like I tell Kevin, was martial arts. When my daughter was being bullied at school, all I could think about was, could I teach her how to defend herself? All the things that I learned from Jay, who I first trained with when I was 16 in high school.
And what was it that Jay taught you?
It was Jeet Kune Do and Wing Chun. Those were my first introduction to martial arts ever, was Jeet Kune Do and Wing Chun.
Jeet Kune Do, if you don't know, the way of the intercepting fist.
Yes.
Created by Bruce Lee.
By Bruce Lee, yes.
Yes, and Wing Chun, which if you see Ip Man.
Or the Bruce Lee story.
Yes, you'll see Wing Chun. So
Yes.
if you don't know martial arts, that's what he's making reference to.
Making reference to, yes. Those were my first 2 interactions with any major martial art. Those 2 styles. He taught me those things, how to fight inside, using my elbows, and here with Wing Chun. You know, Wing Chun a lot of close combat, so you close. He taught me how to use my elbows and fight close. I couldn't kick high.
Why was it that you couldn't kick high?
Because before I met Jay, I had a car accident.
And you said you were 16?
I was 16 when that happened.
Okay, so let's go back to that because I know you showed, or go to that because you. First off, just to recap.
Yes.
What we covered. We talked about how you got here, and then we went backwards to when you were 26. You had a stroke.
Now we're going back 10 more years.
Back 10
more years.
Back 10 more years. Because before that stroke even happened, this way it all began. This way the downfall really began, Calvin. Because before that, I was a real good athlete.
He told me he was a good athlete.
Yes.
Everybody knew him.
Yes, I played.
Okay, so explain how people knew you. So, like, paint the picture of us back
Anybody that know
where was
me.
it, South Carolina?
Yes.
South
Anybody
Carolina.
know me from Georgetown, South Carolina, you know me. And you better say, oh, here you go bragging on himself. Yes, I can toot my own horn. Toot, toot. Because
Ain't nobody else gonna do it. You
I
gotta do it.
I was y'all guy. I was the track runner. I was the dancer. I was that guy in the hallway. Remember that? Used to be rapping with Pookie. I was that guy.
don't
Not
know
Pookie
Pookie.
New Jack City, but my
Wow.
friend Pookie Pipkin from Andrew, South Carolina.
Hey, if you watching this, you know who it is.
Yes, he know I'm shouting him out. That's my guy. My friend Nelson Hayward, who also got me into dancing. I was in all those activities. I was that guy. No matter what it was, I was either at lunch performing. I was at lunch rapping. I was that guy. You know, I was always doing something of that nature to entertain people. That was just me. That's who I am. That's what I was. That's who I still am to this day.
So that means a lot of people do you.
A lot of people know me.
So
A lot of people know me to this day.
So like
To this day.
to this day.
To this day.
So
I go home right now and they're like, hey, oh man, where you been? Oh man, what you doing now?
and that was just all the way, like I'm guessing from elementary all the way up. It was just like that. So that's a lot of time for people to know, and they already know how you are. And then it gets to when you're 16.
When I had the accident. When I had the accident, it changed my life.
What year was this?
It was in 1990. It could have been 93. I born in 77. I born
Cell phones are not how they were nowadays.
No.
We were born in '92.
If put that in perspective.
What?
Yep.
Yes, you guys were born. I was laying up on the side of the road, hoping that someone could save my life.
Yeah. So let's.
Um,
So how did that? If whatever you feel like sharing with it. I know the big part of the story is. I'll just let you share it. So whatever you feel like sharing.
yeah, because like I was saying a
few
few minutes ago, that's where my downfall started, guys. I wrecked that Mustang, come from my grandfather's house. After he asked me to stay there, it was late one night. I ran off a road, and the car flipped over, turned over, and it broke my hips. I was down in this little trench and I had to crawl out on my elbows. Something my dad taught me from the Army. On my elbows, I crawl on my elbows. I crawl all the way up to the bank, to the side of the road. I laid on that side of the road for about, I want to say 4 or 5 hours. And at the time, the hottest album in the country at that time was Doggy Style by Snoop Dogg. At that time. And I had that playing in my cassette deck when the car wrecked, when I wrecked the car. The only thing that kept me alive was me singing that album, front to back, to keep me awake. Because I didn't want to go to sleep. I was so scared that if I go to sleep, bleeding from the head and from my back, that if I go to sleep, I probably would die. So I sat on the road, I rapped over and over and over and over and over and over. And I would hold my hand up and the car would pass me by. Woo! Woo!
And this is after. So this is after.
First
you.
off,
How far
thank you,
was that?
thank you, Snoop Dogg.
I know. Thank you,
'Cause
Snoop
you
Dogg.
wouldn't be
'Cause
here.
he
for
would
what-
not.
There's another Calvin. That's his name.
Calvin Brothers, yes.
Thank you, man. Because wow, to be fighting mentally to stay alive.
To stay awake.
Stay
so you
awake.
can stay alive.
Yes. This lady was leaving for work that morning and saw me on the side of the road, and I would hold my hand up, and she hit the brakes, and she backed up. I never forget this rest of my life. I never seen the lady again. I don't know if she stayed there or if she's still alive, but I always want to tell her thank you for saving my life because she's the reason why I'm here today. She pulled over. She looked at me and dead in my face. She said, "He's just a baby. Oh my God, what happened?" I said, "Our car down there." I said, "All I want to do is go to sleep. Don't leave me, please. Just stay here with me." She said, "Do you have anybody I can call?" I said, "Call my grandmother." I gave my grandmother's number. We didn't have a phone at the time. I gave my grandmother's number. She called my grandmother. How my grandmother must get in contact with my father. They called the ambulance. I didn't want the ambulance to pull off until my parents got there because they wasn't going to know where I was going or what happened to me. You know what I mean? So I asked them, please wait till my dad and my mom get here. But they said he had to leave now because if it don't leave, I could die. That was my first interaction with death. That was the first one. Not actually the first, but it is the first time I experienced it with my eyes open and had conscious awareness of what was going on. Which ended up to all the other interactions that happened later in my life. After I had that car accident, years went by. I got stabbed. Yes, I got stabbed in the back twice.
What happened?
I got an interaction with a young lady that was carrying my child at the time, and we had I could say a misunderstanding. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that. A misunderstanding, and she didn't have to do it, but she did. She was emotional, and we went going through a verbal argument and a little physical. Didn't hit her because I could have hurt her. I was already trained at this time. This was after I had the car accident. I was already trained by Jay at this time.
This was
Got
your
you.
first
Okay.
son, right?
Yes, my first son's mother. Yes. And when that happened, that was the major downfall to everything else. And why I say that, because even after the car accident, I was walking again. Okay? I was kind of walking again. But when that stabbing happened, it damaged nerves in my back,
So
which also caused other things to trigger. When I got stabbed, I left South Carolina after I got stabbed. After I healed up, about 6 months later, I left. It was in '99
Where'd you get stabbed?
in the back,
And which part of your back?
near the vertebrae, near my spine there. I don't know if you still can see it, but let me see. I don't mind showing. I want the whole world to see this one because
That's just because,
It's-
like, I
That's
would
really
say
backstab.
getting stabbed is way scarier than getting shot.
it's a lot more personal.
can you guys see a line down my back? It's still there.
Right here?
Yes, that's from the car accident. Is there 2 dots up there, like on the side? Is it the dots over there? Some black dots up there somewhere?
Oh, up
here.
Near my right here near my wing back there.
Oh,
You
see a dot here.
Where your hand at?
Right here.
Right, wait, down some more.
Here?
It's a dot. It's a dot there. On my back, this body.
Yeah, it's just spike.
Okay. Right. Okay. Put your hand up there, Kevin again. Okay. Right near that blade up in there. Right up in there.
Right here?
Right up in there. It was. I was stabbed right there.
Oh, right here. So those right. Okay, so like right here.
And
That was
should be
closer.
one a little bit below that.
Right here.
Yeah, it should be. Yes. I haven't seen it. I haven't looked back in years to even spot it. But if you see those scars under my back, that's what that long line was from the car accident. The other where I took the glasses in my back, that long line right down my spinal cord there, that was from the car accident. Those
Yeah,
dots were from the stabbing, which also, like I said, martial arts mindset is a good thing for me because throughout all that, guys, that what kept me sane. When Jay came to the hospital and saw me, he said, "Well, I taught you how to take a knife away from somebody. Why didn't you not do something about it?"
How do you say it to you? You woke up, so you was asleep.
Nah, he said like how Jay would say it. And if you watch it, you could probably say, "This is crazy." Hey man, I taught you how to take knife. How you let somebody do that to you? So him and my friend Pookie was the ones I was rapping with. They were in there together, laughing at me because I got in this situation with a young lady. You know what I mean? And I could have defended myself, but I say this. I'll say again to this day. That was not where I was at with the situation.
You
I
in a
never
different
thought it would
mindset, weren't
happen.
you? Because you're in a different mindset, right?
Yes.
And what did it feel like when it happened?
How did it feel to me? How my body felt?
Yes.
How did I notice that I was bleeding from the back?
Yeah, how'd your body feel, spirit,
Okay.
all that, you know?
Well, when it happened, I didn't know that it happened. I was still trying to tell her to stay because it got to a point where she was trying to take my son away and go home because my uncle just had passed away. And I was trying to get her to stay to bring my son to the funeral. And we got in an argument because she was like, you went to the motel with some girl last night. I was like, I didn't do that. I came home. I got to go to the setting up tomorrow or the wake tomorrow with my family, so I didn't stay out all night. I came home, you know, and she didn't believe me, and she just kept saying that I did it, and I knew I didn't do it. So that's what happened. That's how that kicked off. Don't want to spend too much time on that because I don't want nobody to see this, and I don't feel like I'm throwing somebody under the bus. You know?
But it's just the feeling of, because you've experienced it, so like when you say it, you know what it feels like, but a lot of people don't understand when you get stabbed what it actually feels like, because we see movies, you know what I mean?
Man,
We see movies, but it's not like that.
But here's the bad part about that stabbing situation. When it happened, right? When it happened, fellas, my son was still there. He didn't know what was going on. I walked outside. She had to go run and go get help. I couldn't breathe. So I stopped I couldn't feel myself breathing. I was like, I was losing oxygen. I was, you gotta go get help. You gotta go get help. That's how I was reacting. She ran out the house to go get help. I walked out behind her. My son ran out behind her, and I tried to catch him. I stumbled down the steps. I collapsed in the yard. He's on my back, thinking I'm playing horsey. So he doesn't know the difference. So he's on my back, hoping that I'm thinking I'm playing with him. So I'm laying on it, and I can't even breathe. You gotta get up. You can't breathe. I remember that.
How old was that? How old were you?
I was he was 1 going 2, so I was 20 years older than Ty. I was 21.
So 16, car accident. 6 years later, you get stabbed.
I get stabbed.
5 years after that, you get a stroke.
I have a stroke.
All your 30s,
All my
you're pretty
30s.
much bedridden.
Bedridden.
No job.
No job.
All your 30s.
Yes. All my 30s.
Think about it. We just turned 30.
We just turned.
So think about being bedridden from a stroke.
26 to I never did the math, Kevin. Well, that's a long time.
26 to
Whew. It's been a long time. It's been a long time because I still wear my glasses, my sunglasses to this day because I still have a problem with my brain a little bit from where I had surgeries and stuff. But like I said, you don't understand when you are a fighter and you love going forward, there's nothing really can hold you back. No matter how hard things get, you know what I mean? No matter how tough things get, man, you got to keep pushing forward, brother. You know, you got to keep moving, no matter how tough it gets. Because I know what tough feels like. I know what it feels. I know what it's like when you laying there and you have no other options, and you just sitting here looking at the ceiling like, when's it going to get better? When's it going to get better? When's it going to get better? The day it got better for me, June 27th, 2010. That was Genovi's birthday.
And just so you guys,
That changed my life.
just so you
That
guys
changed
know,
me.
he said June 27th. That is the same day as his birthday.
Wow.
That's why I said that day changed my life. June 27, 2010. That little girl. It makes me emotional when I talk about it because I still feel the joy from it. That it turned me around. It made me get up again. Made me feel like somebody. You know what I mean? I felt like nobody. I felt like the world was on my shoulder, brother. You know what I mean? I felt like I had nowhere to turn, nobody to talk to. You know, my wife was doing her best, working, trying to keep things above the water, but she was getting aggravated. You know what I mean? Because I had no income coming in. I'm fighting Social Security, trying to get something coming in. You know what I mean? And my daughter was born. And I went home that day because it was funny. I went back home that day, and I looked at myself in the mirror. I said, Charles, you got to get up, brother. You got to fight now, or you in the fight now, brother. When you go to the hospital tomorrow, visit your daughter, you need to figure out what you're going to do for the rest of your life. And then when Genovia born, I just had got Social Security, so I just had got to the point where I could buy her something. You know what I mean? And I took that, and I kept moving forward. I kept trying to move. I moved out the apartment that we were living in. I moved to the house. I kept trying to push forward. Then all of a sudden, Genovia was in kindergarten, first grade, I mean, and she got hit in the face by a kid. Basil was already born at this time, which was also another great day of my life. Because now I got another son that lives here with me, which I know now I'm seeing how to kick some butt. You know what I mean?
Oh, and I love his son too. His son super loves.
He loves these guys. He don't even know Kevin has a twin brother yet. But when he sees the podcast, he sees Kevin has a twin brother. He's gonna love both of these guys more than he loved me. And I think that is so wrong, Basil, because
He calling you out. I gotta agree with your dad here, but
he loves these guys, man.
I plead the fifth.
My son loves these guys. He loves martial arts. He's like me. He loved martial arts. And like I say again, those kids and my wife and those my 4 kids and my 4 kids and my wife changed me as a man. They helped me find my passion again. They believed in me as a person. So I dedicate all my success to those people. I'm going to keep pushing forward. From that car accident to me being stabbed, to me having that stroke, to this day, I will say this. I had a martial arts mindset. And what I mean by martial arts mindset, I had a mindset, I'm not going to quit. I started taking Taekwondo at 38. I'm like, y'all hear me?
38. Wait, this is after.
After all this stuff happened to me.
And you said you had hips? What?
I had broken hips.
Okay,
if
so
you don't know, Taekwondo.
See, there's a lot of information here.
Let's go through it.
Taekwondo is
just
an
a little
art,
bit. Go
kicking
ahead.
art. Okay, where you have all the high flying kicks
All
you
the
can
high
think
flying
of,
kicks. Yes.
above the kick, head kicks, chambered kicks, hook kicks, spin hook kicks, tornado kicks,
Jumping
540 kicks, everything. And
I do it all. I don't let martial arts mindset is this. If you want something, you go for it. You will try your best to achieve it, no matter what limitations you have. If you want it, you will go for it. That's the martial arts mindset. That's the combative mindset. Nothing changes that. Because you as a person, the only battle you fight is with yourself. The only battle you fight is with yourself. Because only person can make you not accomplish those things are you. Take it from me. Someone who have all these problems. I don't quit. I never have quit. I've been bedridden. I've been knocked down. But I've never been knocked out. I keep getting up. My eyes don't close. I can breathe. I can move. I'm not going to quit.
And so what it sounds like to me, like what really helped with you to push you to the next level was something that gave you purpose, and your family. You can hear the love and the affection and the gratefulness that you have for your wife to stick through that. Think about it, like a lot of people couldn't actually go through thick and thin, for better or for worse, for
And she married me when I ain't had nothing.
a long time.
She married me when I had nothing.
And to stay that whole time, when people can't even stand being around somebody else or giving them a quarter.
That's my life story there. That's my life story and their story.
And you know what I think is beautiful about it is that you passed on the martial art mindset to your kids.
Yes.
So I want you I think this would be
something.
great. This
Yeah,
is
that
something
you were
good to end on
talking
because-
about. You said Taekwondo, and like what got you started with Taekwondo?
My daughter.
I was about to say this is what we can end on here because if y'all haven't noticed already, this is why we wanted him on the podcast.
First off, before we finish with this, thank you for sharing all of that, because, like, when I hear people complaining about their life and not
too.
knowing what actual pain feels like, not saying that, like, I've gone through any ultimate pain. I haven't gone through anything like that. And I could only imagine what that feels like, let alone how you would have to do a mental shift to be able to overcome it each day and each day and each day. Right. So I just want to say thank you for sharing all that, and
You're welcome.
for you to be a testament of what resilience looks like, of
Yes.
why when we say us to each other, like what perseverance looks like.
And he
We're
didn't say
never
this
giving
part,
up.
but he was born premature too.
Oh, you know what else I didn't hear him say? That it was because this person, or because of that person, or because of my mom, or because of my dad,
Or because
of my
I
uncle.
was stabbed, I didn't do, or because this happened, or because I didn't feel good on that day when he didn't
He
complain
didn't
about
make any
of that.
excuses, and even when he was bedridden, talking about sitting in one place, I can only imagine.
And he was still looking at the ceiling towards the future.
I stayed out of school for 2 years. I'll take it back. It wasn't 2. It was about a year. I said I was out for one Christmas. I came back. It's been a while. It was so long that my classmates thought I was dead. I'll put you like that.
After his accident,
Wow.
there's no cell phones or nothing.
When I showed up
Imagine
at
just a
school-
student just disappearing for a whole
Yes.
year.
When I showed up at school, I walked in the hall. The kids were like, "Oh my God!" You alive?
There's no social media.
I never forget that.
No social media, nothing.
I never forget that because I didn't. I went to school before time because I was so tired laying in the bed and staying at home.
Mm-hmm.
I had to walk down my neighborhood on crutches. I remember the kids when I got there, the kids were like, oh, "You alive?" My white friends, my black friends, they all were hugging me. You know what I mean? Like
around
I can't
Thriller
believe
too.
you.
Like, it's
I
like,
can't believe you. Yeah, you know. Same thing happened when I got stabbed. They were like, they thought I had died again. You know what I mean? Then I had a stroke. I was here.
Hey,
they thought I died again. Like
this cat got
dude.
6 lives left.
Like, dude, dude, how you make it through this stuff? I was like, I don't know. Like Calvin said, it's about perseverance, man, resilience. I don't give up. You know what I mean? And I think everyone should have that attitude about themselves. If you believe in yourself, don't quit on yourself. You quit on your own self. You know what I mean? You quit on yourself. You gonna quit on you? Oh, everybody. I mean, I can quit on him and feel good, but I won't quit on myself.
Now it's on camera. But just so we can wrap it up because we're getting near the end. Like, you know, I love the inspiration that I just can feel from what you're going through, and also, guys, like just seeing how happy he has gotten from. I've been there to be able to see his relief come over him.
Yes.
You know what I mean? When he came in, he was trying his best to hold it together. And when you're in that mind state, when you're in that stressed out, trying to figure it out for your kids, it's not saying like he still doesn't stress or any of that, but the fruits of his labor are starting to ripen. That's one thing I will say. And here's how one of them have ripened or have really helped out with the martial art mindset, and that's him getting his kids involved into martial arts. Like he said, he brought his kids here to find some place for his son to train. Okay, so I'll go ahead and let you explain that, and then we can end on that because I think that's really cool what you did to start martial arts.
Yes. Once I got Genovi into Taekwondo, which like Calvin was trying to tell you guys, it's a 90% kicking martial art, which is not something you would want to do with broken hips. But I didn't want to let Genovia down. I knew that if I go in there and I quit, she was going to quit. So for me, I didn't want her to ever want to quit anything. I didn't want Basil to ever want to feel like it was okay to quit anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about the parents that I'm teaching over there because you work with a different group and I work with a different group, but the kids who the parents just let them like, oh, they're not doing this anymore.
That's the wrong. That's the wrong mentality, man.
And also, we grew up.
It's gonna trickle down. It's gonna move forward till like they get older. They're gonna be used to quitting, right? And so I just wanted to highlight
and here's the thing:
that.
they're gonna be used to quitting and being supported on that quitting. Because their parents support them.
Yeah, that's true. You agree with that?
I agree wholeheartedly because like I was talking with somebody like, man, I had my kid in martial arts, but then I let them quit, and now I wish I didn't let them quit because I'm seeing other people talk about the benefits of them not quitting and getting that black belt and having like.
Y'all see the benefits of not quitting here? Y'all see the benefits of not quitting here?
Yes.
Yes. So please continue on about talking about your daughter.
Okay, we'll close out with my daughter because my daughter, like I said, my daughter got me head first dive back into martial arts. Like I said, Taekwondo was not a choice of mine. It was what I felt like was best for me and my daughter. Because when I went into the studio and I met Master Robert Holmes, I saw Robert Holmes had on a suit and tie. I went into the building, impressed. I was like, this guy, he's a black belt? Look how he dressed. You know what I mean? Black guy, well dressed. You know what I mean? And I was like, whatever you do, I'm going to do. And I signed Genovia up, and I signed myself up. I told him I had some training before. But here was the freaky part about it, right? My first day in class, Genovia's home. She at home. She's not going. She's nervous. I'm not going there. I'm going to go by myself. Go to my sparring class, right? I get in class. Master Robert Holmes, we in a sparring session. He hooked me in the lip. My lips is busted, right? It's a busted, Calvin.
Oh man!
So I go home, right? I got my mouth covered like this, right? 'Cause I didn't want you to know to see it at first.
Uh-huh.
So I put my hand on it. What happened to you, Dad? What happened to you? I said, they kicked my lip. Now, you know she's terrified now. Now, she really don't want to go anymore. But now I got to take her. I got to tell her that it's okay. It's going to be all right. So, again, I took a lick, just to show her that it's going to be okay. You know what I mean? You cannot get scared of it. You cannot be scared of it, what I'm trying to say.
And what that looks like to me is leading by example.
Yes.
Like instead of just going like, go and do that, go figure it out, which I see a lot of parents do. Just all right, go and not show that support. You actually went that step further and like this is what the pain of this looks like,
and not just sitting down, just watching it.
I'm out there with him.
Out there with it.
I told you a story before. I was the only adult in that class,
And then
at that school.
and
Only
then-
adult.
I think what I want you to tell, and then we'll finish here, is because I hear you say it a lot in class to our students, because our students, you want our students to understand how much work it takes. So the day that you guys did this physical test, running up Stone Mountain,
Oh, that was.
I know y'all did that multiple times
Yes.
to get that black belt.
I want to thank Master David Burgess, who is one of my senseis, along with Robert Holmes, who have taught me everything I know today. Master Burgess, he would take me and work out with me at how I learned my ground game. Master Burgess. He worked with me countless hours on that. That's my guy. Master Burgess, you're my guy. Robert Holmes, you're my guy.
He's been my guy for a while, so y'all just can't.
So
have him.
Oh wow.
And
I
and
did say that. Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry,
But-
y'all.
But the fact that they taught me everything I know, and I instilled that in Genovia and Basil, because once I got them in there, they didn't let me quit. They wouldn't let them quit. No matter how many times they make me run up Stone Mountain, I would go for my black belt test for my red. Wait a minute. Let me start, Master Burgess. Let me tell them how to go. My red belt, beginning red, my full red, my advanced red, my beginning black, and my full black. I ran Stone Mountain 5 times, Master Burgess and Master Holmes. I appreciate that because it taught me how to keep going. No matter how tired I got, going up and coming down. And guess what? They don't even know I was going through a problem then with a cane and a stroke. So, and I appreciate those guys for that. I appreciate everything.
And I know your daughter running up with you too.
Yes, my daughter. Oh, let me tell you one more story before we go. I knew you would kind of get this story. I tell all these kids in my class. I tell everybody, well, that's one person who also helped me understand the martial art mindset. She did her test going through her woman problems. I don't think you understand what I'm saying to you.
I think I know.
She had her woman problems going on when she did her test.
The attitude.
That's a woman problem, right?
Jerry's laughing. I'm trying to But I kudos for her because she didn't quit. Now, a day after that, me and my wife had to pick up out the bed. She didn't quit. She didn't give up. I told her, if you want it, you got to go get it. If you want it, you got to go get it. You know what I mean? I help you up the mountain, but when you get back your dojo, you got to go get it. She went in there. They didn't treat her fair. You know what I mean? They made her do that. Nobody did her phones over and over and over and over and over until they say, okay. They made her do her exercise and her come back over and over and over until they said, okay.
They didn't care. Because you know what? Life doesn't care.
And I'm glad they did that. I'm happy for them. I'm glad those guys were my senseis because they didn't give it to her. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yep,
Regardless of little female she was the smallest thing. They didn't give nobody that. I remember we was in there and Master Holmes kept making nobody do it. Said, that's not what I want from you. Do it again.
Then that sounds
familiar. Yeah.
That's not what I want from you. Do it again.
Yep.
And people don't like to be told to do it again. They just want to be told it's okay.
Oh, you did it. You did it. Oh, that's
nice
fine.
job.
My baby was crying.
And
So whenever you feel you want to complain or you want to give up, think about these stories. Think about that.
And one thing we didn't even bring up, I mean, if you look at us, something we have all in common, sitting down right here, is we're all black. Like
we never talked about that because
we didn't talk about that once being part of the adversity, even though that was there.
Just
Even though that was there the whole time.
the whole time.
And
Because
now
us
it's
being
there.
black, all of us being black, if you're black, you understand what the adversity is without having anybody have explained it to you.
And so I bring that up because I'm seeing the difference from when I see parents who allow their kids to quit,
Mm.
and there's just a disparity in skin color of like the toughness level and the grit level that I see.
And that makes sense. That correlates with how we have had to be as black people in
Mhm.
society. We had to have that tougher grit because we were slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had to deal with all those things.
Mm-hmm.
Because even when we are great, that's when they do their worst.
Mm-hmm.
And so to hear your daughter getting pushed, no matter what, even though she's female, even though she's small, it's like that. Do you want true equality? This is what equality looks for. Like if you want to reach this criteria,
Mm-hmm.
this ain't got nothing to do with how you look.
Mm-mm.
It ain't got nothing to do with your male, female, big, tall, short, small, skinny, fat,
Got a short leg, got a long little arm,
black, white, Asian, Hispanic.
Yeah.
in a wheelchair,
Yeah.
anything.
Anything.
Having had a stroke,
Having a
Being
stroke.
stabbed,
Hmm.
car accident, replaced both hips.
Mm-hmm.
being in a mind state that we didn't hit on this deeply, but like to be in this place where you're just surviving.
Yeah. My whole life I was about survival. If I really wanted to be here or not. But was I going to give up and lay down? I haven't. My parents, I'm going to rest with this. I'm going to end with this. My mother and father never taught me to quit. My dad, I can still hear my dad tell me then when I'm getting lazy, get up, Junior, move. I hear my mom, who's my biggest fan. My mom is my biggest fan in this today. She was one person out of everybody that didn't support me to keep going. My mom said, "Keep going, son. You stick with it. There's something in there for you. Keep going, son." And I appreciate her for that. Every time I have a success, I call her first. I don't tell nobody but my mom first. Because if anybody came and ran to the hospital, if anybody came and did something for me, I needed a dime in my pocket when I had a dime. When she hardly had a decent job, she would come, she would send me money. She would come, she would take me to doctor appointments. She would come, she would run me. She would come from South Carolina to Atlanta to take me to those appointments. I tell you, I had a stroke here. It happened here. You know what I mean? I came. The other things happened home, but I left home and came here, and all the things happened here. She would still come and take my money to go.
Wow.
If that's not loving your child, I don't know what is. You know what I mean?
That's what we talk about in our mantra. So
Your whole mind, your whole body, your whole spirit, and everything that you do, and we just appreciate you sharing your story.
Hey man,
because we can
you guys
tell
welcome, brother.
Your
I'm
spirit
glad.
is in everything that you really care for.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you can see it too. He was real nervous when he first came on how these students would like him here.
Yeah.
Okay, especially Yaka here. He's a little tough, rough. around the
Yeah,
edges.
I hope y'all like him.
You definitely, he from
I think
the
I like
streets.
him a little bit.
But here's the thing too. He got a soft spot too.
Oh man.
And I don't know how he get these little white kids to like him, but he's
Everybody likes
they
me,
love
man.
him. Yeah, he's great though. Everybody loves him. You all should love Charles. And
I'll
Think about this.
I'll
Think
love
about
him
this.
After we spar, we'll see what happens.
Good.
think about this. After all the things he's been through, and he's still here smiling.
Oh yeah. That's just me, man. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys for having me on. I want to tell this story for a long time. I told you that, Kevin. A long time. I want to get this out. This is like a therapy for me. I hope it helps somebody. Hope it inspires somebody to never give up. That's really what I did this for. I want to inspire other people to know that no matter what you're going through in life, no matter how tough things get, your only enemy is you, yourself. You only fight against yourself. Because once you give up on yourself, you might just quit it, lay down, and let it go. But if you don't, and you believe in yourself, and you trust your abilities as who you are as your person, trust me, everything will work out. Everything will work out. Don't quit on yourself. Please, don't quit on yourself. I will end with that. Do not quit on yourself. I'm a living testimony to that.
Do not quit on yourself.
Yes.
That's it right
That
there.
being said,
We got to
Mind.
just say it. Yeah, we'll say it. So we can repeat after Calvin.
Mind.
Mind,
Body.
body,
Body.
Let's do it together.
Mm-hmm.
Mind.
Mind.
Body.
Body.
Spirit.
Spirit.
I use my mind to think.
I use my mind to think.
I use my body to move.
I use my body to move.
And I use my spirit to spread love.
And I use my spirit to spread love.
Yes, thank you, Charles.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
You.
man.
This has
I
been.
met y'all guys. I got able to, like I say, share my story with other people. I hope it helps somebody. Because that's my guy right here.
That's my guy right here.
And I hope he don't leave me, but he said he will one day. I imagine we'll get a divorce.
You know the divorce rate is high, so you gotta.
Yeah, I know.
You
I know, right?
gotta
I
keep
know.
it even.
I mean, I'm divorced with a married brother.
I am single. Man.
All right, and this is Martial Art Mindset. We'll see you guys on the
Yeah,
next
man.
one.
Peace.
And check out the rest.
Yeah, guys. Oh, that was lovely.